Okay, quick little note to all of my Zoom people here. Glad you're here. We're going to be diving into a lot of detail today, certainly with contracts. So we'll make sure that we send those out, or you have the link for where you can get the contract material. I will check the chat after Dawn presents her material. If there are questions, I'll kind of be moderating that. So please put them in your chat. I want to make sure that you get information that you need to. So it's good to see you all here. We'll see what we can do. Okay, bye. I mean, kind of bye. I'm going to start paying attention. So we're in the room too. So thanks. Go. First chat. All right. Well, soon. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Hey. It's going up. It's going up.
You ready?
Froggy's ready.
Nobody's even listening.
Not yet.
Isn't that like I've been practicing. It's like the perfect, but I didn't want to I didn't want to scare. I didn't want to scare anybody. That's better. Am I staying?
Yeah, for sure. That used to work really well, where we would gong and everybody would quiet down and we'd be able to get going. And
now it doesn't.
No. How's your eye, Jay? Your eye's okay? Okay. Everybody doing okay? Doing good? It's so summer, you guys. It is summer. I'm looking at 2 empty rows in the front, but thank God some of our Mind Right team is back and I don't have like church going on here where it was empty. So I've heard from quite a few. We've got people out on summer break, which was tricky in terms of the NER settlement because that is coming in August. So we're starting today to be talking about some of the changes that are coming, ways you can be thinking about it. So I'm glad that everybody who is here is here. You're going to get a head start on some of the resources that will support you through this transition that is coming in August. So thanks for playing. I love it. All right. And as you all know, we start every meeting with a little deep dive into our mission, vision, values. And I have invited our very own Tina Reddick up front. Here she is. And here's what she is going to be talking about. So Tina.
Okay, guys, this is going to be a really fun event. And I'd love a ton of participation. We are holding a golf outing for Cindy Coos, who used to be the compliance broker here. We've talked about there was a small event that happened a month or two ago. This is a big event that they're having at the Wisconsin Country Club in Brown Deer. It's a golf outing. There's going to be amazing raffle prizes, sponsors, all the stuff. I'd love to see people get some teams together, go and golf. It would be really fun. This is helping to fund her treatment. She goes to Miami to have treatment for her ALS, and since she's been doing it, at one point she had lost all ability to move her arms and speak and all of horrible things that ALS does. But since she's been going to this treatment in Miami, she has started to get some of her functioning back in her arms and her muscle mass and all of these things. So it's really important that they raise funds because this is not covered by insurance. So and the travel costs and the plane tickets and all the things. So if you can help out, that'd be great. I would be happy to organize foursomes. I'd love to see a huge KW partnership in this. And if you want to do any raffle baskets or prizes, that would be amazing. So I am happy to be the contact and point person for that. Okay?
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
So it's Monday the 26th.
Correct.
That's the 18th.
Yeah, they switched it. So it switched to the 26th because of the golf club.
Okay.
But it should be really fun. I only know a little bit about golf to be dangerous, but apparently the Wisconsin Country Club is like a really nice golf course. It's private, it's invite only, all the things. So if you want to be bougie in golf, let's do it. I would love to. I'm gonna form a team. I hope other people do as well. Thank you.
Brian was, excuse me, yes, excellent. Brian was in the office the other day, and one of the things he shared with me is getting treated for ALS is very similar to like thinking about it. Like if somebody said I'm getting treated for cancer, right? There are 1,000 different types of cancers and there are 1,000 different kinds of treatments. Cancer's been around long enough that we have approved treatments that work towards targeted diseases. ALS is very much similar, only at the very, very beginning stages. There are very different kinds of ALS expressions and very few approved treatments. So insurance is at the very, very beginning game of that. So anyone who has it is helping all the rest of us live really healthy because they're taking on these new treatments. And if we can help them navigate that, and certainly if we can help one of our own, I love that. That's what we're all about. So I don't golf. I'm hoping to be there just to help everybody feel better about their golf game. Right? That's what I do. That's why Alex. Why was that? Oh, I don't know if I could, actually. I don't know. You guys, this was big, big news. This is the other piece of businesses worth owning. I just did a quick text out to agents in this office who received profit share in June. We got our report a little bit late. Money dropped on the 21st. We call it mailbox money because you're never quite sure how much you're going to get. You're never sure when it's going to happen because frankly, it's completely passive. You don't have to do a thing except introduce agents who would benefit from our system to the market center and we do all the rest for you. So if you got a text today, you got profit share. Thank you so much for helping us build the market center. We are at the $2 billion mark in terms of Keller Williams profit share. And profit share is US based, right? This is not the worldwide now. I'm super proud of this. Good job, right? I mean, think about 2 billion. 2 billion. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So great job. Congratulations. Love that. Here's some insights about our market share. Since its inception, Keller Williams Milwaukee, so the offices in the Milwaukee area, have shared almost 6 million. Wow. Right? We have not been here for very long in the big scheme of things. So $6 million in profit share is amazing. We hear sometimes, only a few people make profit share. I got to tell you, it took me a long time to text the list of people who got profit share. There are a lot of people who get profit share in this office. Here's a little bit of a breakdown. Lifetime profit earnings, 5,000 or less, 71 associates get 5,000 or less. And what you would have needed to get at a 10% return is investing $50,000. So if you think about that being an investment on return, one introduction or $50,000 gets you $5,000. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. 57 have made 10,000 in profit share. 30 have made 25. 15 have made 50, and 8 have made 100. Those are pretty nice numbers when you look at all told. So if you hear us talking about profit share and you tune out, which I know a lot of people do, and that's okay. It's up to you. This is not a requirement. But if you're at all interested in understanding what passive income can do for you and how to work that, just give me or Tina a shout out and we're happy to kind of walk through what it means for you. Okay. June, we shared 82,000 amongst our market shares total. Year to date, 370,000. So we're having a very nice year. Okay, good. Looking around, like we're alive, right? We're good. Everybody feeling good? Okay. All right. Awesome. Good. It's the weather. It's the weather. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. We are going to get very, very intentional about our conversations around NAR. We have talked a lot about NAR, but sometimes we talk up here, right? It's coming. It's changing. What does that mean? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Well, we got to start figuring it out, right? Because it's coming. When is it coming?
3 weeks.
What date?
17th of August.
What date? Okay, some of these changes,
Well, now you're making me like rethink of that. Is it, okay, all in favor, it's the 17th, correct? No, what do you mean though?
according to Metro MLS, we're looking at the 14th.
The
Actually, I
14th?
remember.
14.
Yeah, it's like right.
Okay, so this is the first point that we're gonna get clarified. When do these changes take effect?
August.
And this is why, August.
Both right.
And this is why we're starting to talk about this now, middle of August, right? We're realtors, we're salespeople, we're very good at vague. We want to get specific, okay? So the middle of August, we need to dial in and we need to be really good at understanding what these changes are. And here's the hard part, we don't know all of what these changes will bring. So we're going to get really, really good at learning. We're going to hear a ton of different voices about what's happening in this. And we're going to ask questions. So the first question is, when do these all become effective, right? Okay. There are two pieces of this I want you to think about, right? One is the technical piece of this. And a lot of times when we think about our job, we think a lot about our technical piece. Okay, we're going to talk about the technical changes. When you think I have a question about a technical piece of this, I want you to think Don, James Krickeberg, Lisa Packard, our compliance people, our hotline, Sarah Papp, our lenders. They're going to understand the technical piece and can help you write really strong contracts to make sure you know how to present the paperwork. Okay. When you are talking with people, I want you to think top agents. I want, as terms of resources, I want you to think videos that we're putting up on YouTube. You can talk to me. You can talk to other agents in the area. We're our Monday night class at 5:30. We're shifting the focus a little bit. It will still be productivity based, but we're doing foundations. So a lot of script practice, a lot of conversation. How do we set expectations for people? When you think conversations, it's not just with your buyers and sellers. It is with other agents, right? Because I promise you, there are not other brokers that are going to be going into depth the way this broker is, right? This brokerage is. And even now, August 17th is the date. It's 17th, right? We all know that. It's the 17th. Okay. So other brokers are going to be having things like the 14th up, right? I'm just saying, you guys have told me, you come into my office and said, these guys don't know what they're doing, right? So we don't want to be those guys. We want to know what we're doing. So today we're going to have a deep dive into contracts. But before Dawn comes up and gives you some of the contract information, I want to show you part of the August calendar that's coming up. We're going to be talking to some of our very top producers who are having a lot of these conversations right now, and they're taking it from a lot of different perspectives. Okay. So we're going to be having a conversation every morning about how they're having these conversations. We're going to be recording them. You can zoom into the link to ask questions. And I've got a short video that I'll send out after this meeting from two top producers in our ecosystem who started the conversation already. So Jay Schmidt and Martha Ola has a conversation around it that I can share with you. What I want you to be doing is to listen to it. Everybody's taking a little bit of a different perspective. So I want you to get a breadth of examples for you such that you feel super comfortable about having the conversation. Okay, makes sense? Those classes or videos, what we are going to be at 8:30, calling them the new normal NAR settlement conversations, and there's a Zoom link on our calendar. So you can just download the calendar, click on the Zoom link, and log in, start seeing those conversations. We're going to have those certainly through the first couple weeks of August. My guess is that we will continue having those because once things flip over on the 17th, we'll be having those conversations in real time, right? So we'll be sharing what our experience is of that as well. Make sense? Any questions?
It is the 14th.
No. Look, we're going to confirm.
It's the 14th.
For MLS is the 15th mandatory use date for the new contracts.
We're all all right. We're all right. And this is why we have Dawn. This is why we have Dawn. Okay, so when you think, oh my gosh, what do I say? How do I learn this? I want you to be thinking all of these resources for you. If you can be on 8:30, that's awesome. Be on the Zoom. I don't care if you're in your car driving, turn your video off. This is not you don't need to be heads up, ready to talk. I just want you to hear it. You can be, but you don't have to be. Okay. We also have a YouTube channel. We have a scripts and dialogue class that happens here on Tuesday. It's a great time to plug into that. And then again, there's that foundations class on Monday at 5:30. Okay. Okay. Now we're bringing up Dawn, who knows all the dates and specifics.
Alright.
She's going to go over our contracts.
Defend us!
Oh boy. James Kirkenberg is going to be my second voice if I miss anything too, because there's changes to the contracts. There's nothing too crazy. I know. What's James? James. James. Just James.
Just James.
Just James.
Justice James.
Justice James.
Justice James.
Oh boy. Welcome, James.
Couldn't ask for better.
So, so just for clarity on the dates, so the 14th, we'll talk about the changes that you'll see to MLS. And then the new mandatory use date for the new contracts the mandatory use date for the new contracts is August 15th. They are up on the WRA's website right now. They're not yet in zip forms because they've changed so many contracts that it's taking time to get that entered in. So if you take a look at them now, become familiar with them. The changes are not huge, but it's good to know how you're going to explain things differently with the updates. And then the 17th is the date of the actual settlement. And I will say too that you guys all should have gotten an email yesterday from the WRA. It came to me at 3:22 p.m. It's titled "New Forms Videos Now Available." So if you would like to listen to Jennifer Lindsley explain it, like the 12-minute video, it's not an hour long. It's not a huge class. She goes through each of the changes, what to know about them. So this is kind of your overview, but she's an expert she's works for the WRA. So it's a good video to watch. It was not boring. It was okay.
Literally. Okay.
She's literally. But I'm going to give you guys an overview of what to expect for changes. So in the listing contracts, and this is all of the listing contracts themselves. So every single listing contract had this change. So whether you're doing a condo listing contract or doing a residential listing contract, they all change. So in the marketing section, the change was that the compensation, concessions marketing. So the change here is, so seller authorizes the firm and its agents to agree to use reasonable efforts to market the property. That's the same. Seller agrees that the firm and its agents may market the seller's personal property identified on lines 7 to 10 during the term of the listing. Marketing may include, so you may have things that you write there. The firm and its agents may advertise the following concessions, incentives, or special financing offered by the seller. And that line has been there as well. So that would be if you were offering a selling bonus or something for a certain closing date, that's what you would have put on that line. The clarity here is that it says which are in addition to and separate from compensation to others. So we're clarifying that this section here, anything that's offered here is separate from what's listed in the compensation to others section. Clear? So we're not going to write commission in here twice is kind of the big thing to know. The thing to know about concessions is that though you cannot, as a listing agent, as a seller, we cannot dictate what those concessions are used for. So if you're offering concessions as a seller, we're not going to say we're offering a 2.4% concession to be used for buyer's buyer agency fee. You can say you're offering a 2.4% concession, but we cannot say what it's for. That's for the buyer to decide. So that's the change in the listing contract. Clear?
I'm taking up.
Okay. So I mean, use that as you would like. Best practices and strategies, we'll kind of be figuring this out as we're going. But as of right now, that's the thing. Yes, James?
And that can be put in MLS.
Yes. So and we'll talk about the change to MLS, but there is going to be a new section where, are you offering concessions? Yes or no?
And you can offer concessions as defined by a percentage of the purchase price.
Correct. Yes.
So in a listing contract, sounds like we'll have the ability to say 0 cooperative compensation,
Mhm.
because that cannot be marketed.
Correct.
But
In MLS, yes.
in MLS, but we can put 2.4% seller concessions
Yes.
being offered. And then it's up to the buyer and their agent
Yes.
to determine how that's being utilized to offset potential buyer agent compensation. But if you have both of them, then that's like, you can't do that, because then essentially you're offering cooperative compensation.
You're offering
and
extra.
seller concessions.
Yes. Do not put, yes.
We just had a closing where they sent concessions, I remember who year it was. The lender gave a lot of pushback because they didn't like the wording on that, and they took that it was a closing cost credit. So FYI, sometimes the wording, when you say concession,
Mm-hmm.
you have to think of it around the bend, right?
Yeah.
A lender hears concession, they think closing costs.
Correct. So hopefully with the new listing contracts where it says specifically that it can be used for, like we're not defining what it's for, hopefully that'll provide some clarity too.
It's just more of a
Yeah.
signal, right?
Yes.
Signal.
Yes.
Signal. Love that.
Yes.
A commission signal,
Efficient.
like a bad signal,
A bad signal, like
but with money.
okay. Money. You guys, we do have 2 great partner lenders. They have also volunteered to come up and do a little bit from their perspective. I'm looking at Don Warren as we're having this conversation, and she's like, "What?" So everybody's gonna have a little bit of a different take.
Mhm.
I would love these are great questions.
Yes.
Right? Let's get through the information, and then we're gonna have other opportunities to ask burning questions.
Yes. Yeah, the only other change to the listing contract, compensation to others is still listed in there. The only thing that it changes is the language. It says the firm is disclosed and seller approves of offers of compensation. So that's a change in language. And then it does say commissions are not set by law and are fully negotiable. So nothing else has changed with that. Buyer agency and tenant representation agreement. So no, we talked last week about how agents were never supposed to say that their services were free, but now there's a note, it's bold, there's capital letters, that's how you know it's important in the buyer agency agreements to say that the firm cannot say that their services are free. So we're just making sure that it's in the contract itself. So as a buyer's agent, you get paid. Commission earned, this section just mentions, the only change here is so we got 2 lines here. So it refers to an enforceable contract instead of an enforceable written contract, and that's just for consistency with the other WB forms. And then there's, in the other compensation section, some clarity was included about what some examples may be. So other compensation, if you charge a buyer agency fee, that you may have put that in there before, but this just has some clarity around what that looks like. A lot of just clarity. We like clarity. And then the other thing is just authorization that that the payment could be by the owner or the owner's agent. And again, it says that there's no standard market commission rate, and that an agent cannot receive compensation for brokerage services from any source that exceeds the amount or rate agreed to in the agreement. So if you say that your buyer agency fee is, or that your commission that you'll be charged is 2.4% and someone's offering 2.5, technically you can't accept 2.5. You're maxed out at 2.4. But I will tell you, in the WRA video, Attorney Jennifer Lindsley just says, like, there's nothing that says you can't do an amendment to your buyer agency agreement. So no big deal. Imagine there's contracts. In the offer to purchase, the change is that we've added in the seller payment of compensation to the buyer's firm. So this just has a blank line allowing parties to agree on the amount that the seller will pay the buyer's firm towards the buyer's firm's fee at closing. The big thing to note in here is that this can only be used if you have a buyer agency agreement. You can't use this if someone is a customer. So just know that that is an important distinction. So if you are working with someone as a customer, really the only way that you are able to get paid is if someone has put something on the cooperative compensation to others line. So this is a good time where if you're not good at explaining your value, start to go to some of those Zooms about talking about, why should someone work with someone with you as a client, because you'll want to be ready for that conversation. Make sure that you get paid.
Or even get the contract.
Exactly. So those changes to MLS, those changes are going to be happening August 14th.
Quick question.
Yes.
If you can go back to the offer of purchase language.
Yep.
Everyone thinks that's super easy. It's really hard to go back. Here, let me
Okay, so
work.
I got it. This one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm understanding this. There's going to be now an additional section in the offer to purchase.
Yes.
Where a buyer agent can state that the seller is agreeing to pay them a percentage.
Yes.
Now, how does that work if the seller is offering a concession?
Mhm.
Okay. Is that separate
Yes.
to this conversation?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's kind of TBD what how
You
this
see
is
what I'm
going to
saying
look.
though?
Yes.
Like, okay, so
Yes.
if let's just for simple math, hey, we're offering a $10,000 seller incentive.
Yes.
Okay. And then, so in the offer, you wouldn't put though
You wouldn't put
$10,000 seller concession. You would $0 concession, and you would just put that down here.
Ultimately, whatever's agreed to in the offer to purchase is going to be what's happening, but that's what the sellers agreed to offer. So you could put it in there as a $10,000 seller concession, in like the closing,
It
like
would be-
addendum A, DMR addendum A.
Listing would be the signal.
The listing is a signal. The offer to purchase is
What's actually happening.
determination. So
Yep.
best practice would be to put compensation listed as compensation, not list it as a seller concession if it's actually compensation.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. We'll have more conversation about this.
We will,
Yeah.
as we see it in use and see things that are coming up.
You could be doing both if you need that closing cost.
That's true. Yeah. So the other.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
And we'll continue the conversation too, as we get closer to the date and as, like watch the video from the WRA as well, because she goes through some potential scenarios and just how to navigate them. And we'll continue to talk about it. The other thing, so we mentioned August 14th, that's the date that we're going to see changes in MLS. So the changes, third-party apps are going to be removed August 1st for commission, and then MLS fields are going to be removed August 14th. So 2.4%, like the buyer agent commission, that's what's being removed. And then what they're adding is a yes, no box for seller offers concessions. And then when you change the status to sold, it's going to ask you the final concession amount and whether that was a dollar amount or percentage. So when you're changing it to sold, you're going to be disclosing how much of a concession was given. Yes.
Question, if on the co-broke side, or if you have a buyer who's paying a concession or a commission, does that also get entered when it's asking if there was a concession?
As of right now, no.
Okay.
More info to come. Awesome. So that's what I've got. Thanks, guys, for your patience.
Look at that guy. Okay, right, before you go away. Justice James and Defender Don. You guys, some of the hardest things to teach are things that are in flux. And just a reminder that the contract used to be 2 pages? And how many pages is it now? 47,000, right? So what we're trying to do is make sure you have enough information so that you can ask good questions to our compliance people when they come up, and then you can set good expectations for your clients as you're working with them. So some of the questions that we're digging into right now that I don't have an answer for yet is if you have, what happens if the listing goes live for you on August 10th, right? Or on August 8th. Or the 9th. Correct. Correct.
We're all navigating it together, so.
Yes.
You're not the only one.
So what we're gonna be doing is gathering your questions and trying to answer as many as we can in forums like this. But then I'd also, as we kind of roll out between now and when we're all super comfortable like this, and this has never ever changed, you know, this is just the way things have always been. We'll also bring some different scenarios to say this is what the paperwork would look like if this is best practice. I also have to call out the WRA in Wisconsin. They provide our forms, correct?
Yes.
If anybody was on Maureen and Friends this week, they heard Dana Gentry speak about her region. Did anybody hear that? Their forms are so janked up that the market center there decided that they were gonna create their own and use their own forms. We are not in that situation, and one of the wonderful things is that everybody in Wisconsin is gonna be using those same forms. So everyone has the same questions, we'll figure our way through. Thanks for your patience and thanks for your expertise. Good, good, good. Yay. All right. Okay, so that was a little bit of a deep dive into the technical pieces of the contract writing. These guys, gosh, since I've gotten here, do you guys want to confuse? Okay.
These guys.
Um,
I didn't recognize you without your heads. Jeff wears that every day. Literally wearing the same outfit as now. Plan to change.
Are you? No. So I've been at the Market Center for about a year, and when I came, one of the things that I got was, please don't change anything that happens in the morning. Don't expect me to be at anything in the morning because I'm gonna be lead genning. I've heard that before, and I was like, oh yeah, lead genning, sure, coffee, you know, that kind of thing. Absolutely not. These guys are lead genning in the mornings, along with many of you in this room. They consistently pour into their education, and they are generous enough to bring this back for us. So this is part of the Glover Lever Tribe. They do the seminars and all those things. We're going to start with these guys this week. Next week, Scott and I believe Tina will be sharing some of their insights that they got from the Glover U weekend. And one of the things that I know that they talked about, they provided a new NAR settlement conversation document that we'll be posting on our website, so everybody has access to that. But I wanted to hear from you guys. What were your ahas?
Probably, well, speaking of the NAR stuff, I think the biggest thing is the skill of communicating your value to your clients, especially when you're going to be talking to somebody and trying to get them to sign up by your agency if you're getting them to see it properly. So the biggest, I would say, like him, it's always been like scripts, role play, appointments, and weekend. I think for going to be the most important part of what's coming up. I mean, we have Dawn and stuff for all the compliance, but we still have to get people to sign the buyer agency. So if you guys want, at some point, we can talk about it. We could do like twice a week lead gen on Zoom, just specifically around like script practicing, how to talk about that. I did put together like a few scripts of my own that I think will work, but it's super important now to help with that before it happens. We got 3 weeks.
It's so funny.
What were your
We're waiting for you to share us.
Yeah, who was your audience?
I need to button it up.
You need to button it up.
But I'll share it on the.
Yeah, so one of the things I think he honed in on was our focusing on being more skill-based. So he listed off 25 different skills that we need in the marketplace or to get more market share. And like everyone, it's just all about skills, improving your sales ability, just being more professional. Can't be winging it anymore because now buyers are going to be interviewing agents too. And how do you share your value as a buyer's agent? Because before it's like, yeah, you know, some people say, yeah, I work for free. Grab any buyer's agent. They don't know if this buyer's agent is a good one. They can write a good offer. So there was a lot of basically sharing in that. One of the other I got was how you know, well, we listened to Speaker Eric Thomas. He's a motivating. I mean, he was awesome. He just gives a lot of real world examples on like there's no excuses. Like you can come from where he came from and become a millionaire. I mean, he didn't graduate high school. He got his PhD, his girlfriend in college. But you just have to make the decision to do it and without any excuses. So it's all on you. It's all on us to survive what's coming. Other things that I got were basically improving your marketing, your social media. They gave some great examples of that. I took a lot of pictures of the screens, which they don't share that. So one of the reasons I like going is because that you can implement right away. There was a lot of mindset, I mean, presentations, and then towards the end, they gave real world buyer presentation. Like he did a buyer presentation on stage, did a listing presentation on stage, and like basically buyers said like how you are going to explain your value once you go through the consultation, like why they're going to be paying you, they have to. So he did the dialogue, and that which was repeated yesterday in the webinar that I posted on the Facebook page, but and it makes sense, you know. They had the dialogue, and basically they say write it out, chant it, write it, chant it, write it, chant it, role play it, and chanting it, you know.
Which is really just saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Thank you, yes.
Yeah.
No, you have to chant.
No, it says chant.
Sounds so, I don't like the word chant.
Just say chance,
Sounds so much better.
conjures, you know, candles, pentagrams.
Like a
stuff
monk.
that.
Write it, chant it.
You guys,
Video.
the thing I think I'm hearing from you guys, and this is something that Glover's talked about time and time again, especially on the listing side, is that you have to be prepared to speak about expectations. But you have to future pace your clients in such a way that they don't get tripped up, is what could be an amazing experience if you didn't share one little thing, becomes very, very confusing. Am I correct in that?
Yeah.
And you trouble.
You could, yes, there is. Depending on consent.
One of the things I did, like, I wrote the list down. So they were talking about 10 ways to gain market share, neighborhood Facebook group pages, sponsor community events, community give back, postcards, just sold postcards, open house events, make them events, get food trucks, you can call around. This one was pretty cool. You can create branded yard sales for your neighborhood. So basically you just, and then offer them to your neighbor. Like, hey, if you're having a yard sale, here's a bunch of signs and they have your logo and umbrella over whatever you want to put on it. That was cool. And then to do a community newsletter. So, I mean, it's so much information. Obviously, you can't do everything, but at least you can take it.
And I love the reminder too that one of the biggest evolutions of real estate practice, right? It's still basics. You still have to lead gen. You still have to treat your clients amazingly well. You still have to run a great transaction, and you still have to stay in relationship with them post transaction so they get for all the business. Correct.
And on a side note, we became better friends with our friend Michael Medina. We learned so much about him.
We like it now.
Yes.
I now speak fluent Spanish.
He took all the abuse that normally gets put on me. He took it on. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll pay you
Sorry,
later.
Michael.
One thing that was brand new to each of you this time.
I mean, it's not brand new, but I thought it was interesting. Jeff thinks that if you are doing open houses and you like doing open houses, it might be a good idea to double down on it, since with the whole change that's coming, there might be buyers that are like, afraid to pay compensation for the agent, that they just might go to your house over that buy street. So better opportunity to pick up more buyers to show your value, and as well like double punch. So if you aren't doing open houses, do them. If you are,
Yeah, I mean, I think I gotta improve my social media game. I just don't do things. Yeah, so it's like to make the videos, to grab like what's trending in other, not just in real estate, but for other areas and make it real estate. Based. So like whatever's trending in like I don't know whatever industry, but try to turn it into a real estate video. Is what gets a lot of views.
There was a water challenge not too long ago. I said yes, you left town. Go ahead.
I think one of the things that was like most impactful for me is he firmly believes that the presentation, like what you do on a listing, the pre-listing packet, the listing qualification, all of those steps that you do in a listing, he said are really going to be exactly what you're going to need to do on the buyer side. Because you're at some point going to be having to ask the buyer to pay your commission. So you have to prove your value, and you'll want to, just like we pre-qual listings and their availability and all of those things, it's going to be the same side on the buyer side. He was like very clear when he was writing them out. He's like, whatever you do here, make sure you have it here. So it's like from a buyer perspective, like what the other thing they said that was super impactful was like start calculating how many days on market you are with a buyer. So from the time you meet the buyer to the time you get under contract, what is your days on market? Because we do that from a listing perspective, right? We talk about that, but then if we're competing for buyers to pay us, we're gonna have to have that information. So on average, I get my buyers under contract in 12 days.
100%. That's a great marketing piece and value piece too.
100.
You're doing your buyer presentation.
Yeah, and if you think you start collecting more data, you're like, oh, and 50% of my buyers, I get them with home inspections or radon.
Yeah.
Or
Or even, so we track list price to sold price ratio for listings. How many of us do it for buyers?
Right.
If the average is 101%, but you're averaging 99% for your buyers, that's a value proposition. Is on average, we're helping our buyers save money. Or how often do you get concessions from negotiations of home inspections? Like all that stuff.
This is what I love. When you mentioned days on market for our buyers, our land guys' heads just exploded. So I will say one of the things that I find really interesting about change is the one thing that we know is part of the human condition. The only thing we know for certain is that things are going to change. That's all we know. So thank you guys for sharing
I
how
have one last
you
question.
got into this. Yes, Tony Jean Greco.
How do you guys balance being married and working together?
Thank you so much for being here.
It seems like a lot.
The third thing,
I'm just taking notes. I want to implement it in my relationship.
you guys, the third thing that's, thank you really for being up here. I appreciate it. Thank you for
She's telling
questions.
you to get
Yeah,
on the
that's
stage.
my wife.
The music's playing.
Go sit down.
He pays the tab.
The third piece of managing change, right? The only thing that's certain in life is we're gonna die. That sucks, right? It's the only thing we know. And change.
Oh, swim real dark.
And change. I want to tell you a story. Okay, here's I'm gonna take you down a little fairy tale story. Back in the day in Never Never Land, there was a man who didn't have much, right? All he had was a horse. And people in the village were like, oh man, you're as poor as can be. We just have a horse. He's like, I don't know if that's good or bad. Just is. Right? Then one day the horse ran away and he had nothing. And the people in the village came to him and said, oh my God, your horse ran away. I'm so sorry. That's so awful. He said, I don't know if that's good or bad. Just is. A week later, his horse came back and he brought all the wild horses back with him. He led them all back to the village. And the people in the village came again and said, oh my God, it's so great. You're now the richest person in the village. How cool. I don't know if that's cool. I don't know if it's good or bad. It just is. Then the other day, his son was riding one of the horses that came back, one of the wild horses, and he got tossed. Trying to break him, he got tossed. He broke his leg. I'm so sorry. That's so horrible. I don't know if it's good or bad. It just is. The next day, the army came through and asked for all the young, healthy men to go fight the big war that was coming. And the only ones that were going to survive that big war were the generals and the people calling the shots behind the scenes. Who didn't go? Kid with a broken leg. The town came like, oh, I'm so glad they didn't take your son. I don't know if it's good or bad, just is, right? Change just is. It just happens. And when we put ourselves in a place of change, we bring emotion to it. It's charged, it's good or bad. When we do that, we influence the people around us. We try to be a very positive place here. I like saying things are good, and sometimes that trips me up. Things just are, right? It is up to us to make them as positive as we can for the people around them. And when things happen, try not to rush to judgment of good or bad. It just is. And we're going to show up as professionally as we can for the people around us. I would strongly encourage you guys to keep plugging into all the trainings that we have to offer. Def, we're absolutely taking you up on that lead gen class opportunity. I don't know if you want to call it class, but we'll get that on our calendar. This is the time that this market is going to change, right? We're going to distinguish ourselves by the professionalism that we bring, how we treat our clients, the clarity that we can bring, and going through that contract. I don't know about you, but gosh, it felt like there was still a lot to figure out. But we'll figure it out together with our clients. And we'll have marketing to share it with. So here comes our friend Kathleen. She is running. You guys know that she's had a little bit of a back challenge. So it's
I
nice
move really slow.
It's nice to see you on your feet.
Give me some time.
Okay, we're good. Okay. So tech and marketing, we have an update about our agent websites that we wanted to share with everybody. Your old legacy agent website is going bye-bye, and you will be converted over to the new agent site experience on August 15th. Okay. Now, some of you have already converted, and if you have, then you can like tune this out for a hot minute. But if you haven't converted your agent websites and you use your website at a really high level, you probably want to come and meet with me prior to August 15th. Okay, yes. So what's happening is the legacy sites will automatically be converted. Any custom pages or landing pages that you had created in the old websites will be lost, gone. Okay, so if you're using them and you want to keep those landing pages, come talk to me. Yes. So this is the legacy site is the old sites that we had prior to September of last year. So if you remember last year, September, we released new agent sites. If you converted at that time, you're good. If you did not convert yet because you were waiting because you didn't want to lose your stuff, the time has come. Your subdomain is still going to be the same when it converts to the new site. And then here's some things that you can do and the benefits to changing over to the new agent site. So you can customize your homepage. You can change out the pictures that scroll over the search bar. You can add featured listings so you can have your own listings front and center on your website. You can add testimonials. You can create blog posts and add them. You can also create some other custom pages like a mortgage calculator, a home valuation page where that client's information goes directly into their command contact record. You can generate open house sign-in forms. I know I've shown that before so that people can electronically sign into your open houses. You can also add vendor partner information to your site. So you can add our lovely lenders and title companies to your site so that they can get to there from you. And then you can also create other standalone landing pages for like properties and things like that. Okay. There is going to be some training through KWRI on this as well. So if you're not able to meet with me, if you can at least go through these trainings with KWRI, they'll help you in navigating those new agent sites as well.
That's just solo agents, right?
And teams.
And
If you're using your KW site, teams as well.
Is it a little more set up?
It has its things.
Blowing the door.
Okay. So There's new smart plans available, courtesy of Miss Lindsay, about buyer and seller guides. So these are 11 or 6 touches, so 6 email blasts, one for sellers, one for buyers. And when you download the smart plan, if you edit it, go into the editing of the smart plan, you can read everything word for word. So read it, see if you like it, you can tweak it as well. But she just published those into the KW Milwaukee Smart Plan Library. Okay, so these are just generics like you're targeting like future buyers with these, first time home buyers. Why should I work with an agent? Why, you know, email campaigns like that. So the seller buyer smart plan, why should you hire a buyer's agent? 8 steps to buying a home, financing mortgages, tips, the seller side as well, you know, how to prepare your home, why hire a professional, why do we use professional photography, all those things. And then social media bootcamp this week, and innovation on Thursday at 1 o'clock or on Zoom. We have Jonathan Newby, which I don't know if you guys follow him on Insta, Facebook. He does a lot of like local neighborhood business spotlights and fun things in the neighborhood spotlights. And he gains a lot of his business by being an expert in the neighborhood through his use of videos. So he's gained 3,000 followers since February alone. So if you want to learn a little bit more about like how to utilize video and kind of, you know, spotlight certain things that'll help you gain a footing in a neighborhood, it'd be a good one to go to.
Thanks so much for doing that, guys. All right, training and education, you guys, congratulations to my people who have made it halfway through Ignite. We are on the back half, starting tomorrow with our very own Defender Dawn and Zach presenting Conversation. Closes the loop. Of course you are. It's exciting. Okay, just remember if you choose to, you can drop in or you can, and then after that, Jen Strelka is going to be doing quality and and closed buyer strategies on Thursday. So that'll be great. Mega Agent Camp, who's all going? So many hands. Super exciting. Okay, that's down in Austin. I think somebody did a flight check. It's like $300, $400 to get there. And I'm sure that they may be talking about some of this. They're certainly going to be talking about lead gen. We invite you to go there. Last half of the month truly is closing out Ignite. There's a really interesting guest for Maureen and Friends, and I'm just going to leave it there. Charlie can share more about that next week when he comes to team meeting. And we've got the beginnings of our August calendar coming up. So just a reminder, the conference weeks, we don't have team meetings, so there won't be a team meeting on the 13th down the road. But the new big ad to pay attention to is that Zoom meeting at 8:30. So you can plug into that, that'd be great. And save the date. Lynn, what you got?
We've got our annual mini golf event just up the road here. So
Yay!
Yay!
Woo!
Excited. And then the other thing is, if you guys are out and around on your office, you have new seller side processors. I'll stop and say hello to Haley.
Haley Sanders, new processor. Welcome, Haley. It's exciting. Okay, now the moment oh gosh, James.
It's not like it's fishing out there yet, but we're gonna have a backers party for the first game of the year. Okay, at the parents' house, so everyone's invited. Packers, Eagles, Friday night. The slide will be closed. No.
The slide will be closed. On behalf of Alex, the slide will be closed.
Friday night taxes, number 6. Everybody at parents' house. School will be open? Yeah. School will be open.
All right.
It'll be there.
All right, any new listings coming up, Ed, in the back?
No new listings, but we have a new team member coming soon.
Ooh, oh, I didn't want to jinx him. He hasn't signed officially. I wanted to touch me. Excellent, good. Introduce Bets, come on up. Or just stand up in the back. Who are you, Bets?
Welcome to Keller Williams, Milwaukee Southwest. Yes, you're joining the land team,
I am.
and why?
Because I like to hunt and fish, and I made some new friends, and it's just been really fun. I've been doing it for a while, for 4 years with a different agency, and I think I get, from what I'm gathering, is I get more support from you guys. I also like the red and black colors.
That's how I vote for teams.
Yeah, and I'll be probably working with some of you on some senior things, because I have my senior designation. So so it's gonna be kind of a weird dynamic, but lands first. So.
Let me just say, we've had a couple conversations, and every time I call Betsy, she's making chili. She's going to not a hoedown technically, but you have some ranch property.
Yeah.
You have, I mean, you might know the story of the horses better than I told it. It's a very interesting background. Huge addition. Where do you live, Betsy?
I live in Oshkosh.
Okay.
My fiance and I are guides out west for elk hunting and mule deer and antelope. So I'm making food for those camps. We've got 2 ranches right now, and we'll have 4 by the end of 27.
Wow.
So if anyone's looking for a team outing, chat with Betsy.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. All right. Now, new listings.
I have a condo in Berlin that the deal is falling apart. as
Dun,
we
dun,
speak.
dun.
Lender side from New York, so whatever. Three bedroom, 2 bath, upper, $299.9. Fresh paint throughout, fresh carpeting and flooring throughout. It's beautiful, but I can make it back to the market by the end of the day.
Nice.
It's on Forest Ridge,
Thanks, Jay.
by Princeton.
By Princeton Club. Tina.
We have a super killer listing in Bayview on Superior Street, which is like right across from Club Baldy. And it's gonna go live. It's in delay right now. Showing start on Friday. It's being freshly painted, 3-bedroom with bath. Not updated, but like if you're talking about location, like wanting to be the best location of Bayview, this is it. It's adorable. Right around the Black Rockies, like you can walk there. Did you say 2-bedroom? 3. 319 bed. Yep. And we are, just as an insight, we are holding like a very high end neighbor only open house on Friday. Trying to create like a Glover event around it. I know how it's gonna be. I'm excited for it.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's awesome. Alex.
Tanika has a listing coming up, goes live on the 28th. It's a duplex on North 41st Street for $139.
Okay.
So 2121.
Okay. Alex just did yours, Tanika, so all good. Mark.
Well, I have an announcement. I think people know this, but we just had Nikki to Team Smith, Wisconsin, so on it. With us, and she's gonna tell you about a new listing. So.
Excellent.
Okay. I have a good condo that is in delayed right now in Greenfield, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. Everything's pretty much been completely updated, flooring and carpet. 1,700 square feet. Pets are permitted. Greenfield off of 47th and Cold Spring for $299.
First floor.
Second floor.
Second floor.
Second floor. And it goes live on Thursday, so they can.
Excellent.
We have one, Johnson Creek, 3-bedroom, 2 bath on Jefferson Street. Really nice house, really nice on the inside. It has a 2.5 car, non-attached garage, shared driveway, but it's gonna be at $349.9. It's going in delayed on Thursday, goes live on 8/8.
Oh, sure.
The Johnson Creek, so we'll repeat that as in Milwaukee, might be
Okay. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna be having a 55-acre in Walworth County, town of Troy. It's about 99% tillable. Currently, it's 2 parcels, 1 access, so you could have 1 residence, or with a little bit of easement work, you could actually create 2 build sites on it. Spoke with the state DOT yesterday, so I got all the ins and outs. We're probably gonna be going live with that pretty soon. That's my salary.
Awesome. Congrats. Also,
597, 400.
597.4. So awesome. Congrats. Also, these guys did an amazing teaching on land. So thank you for doing that. Great job. Okay, what else?
I got one I'm about to put it in, Little Ranch in Elk Creek, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, but it's like beautiful, really well done. Big lot, 3-car garage with like heat and air in it and everything. It's 274.9.
Nice.
It's really nice.
Sounds like the garage is bigger than the house.
Yeah, garage is big. It's almost, I think it's almost an acre of land.
There you go. Perfect. Good. All right, plug in, you guys. Now is the time to differentiate yourself. You are released to the wilds. Go have an amazing day. Thank you all for plugging in. Thank you for your questions. Tony, you always bring joy and light to our meeting. If you're happy, it's never the same here. Michael, Krista, Alex, I'll see you tomorrow. Hey,
I'm meeting with what's her face tonight. Marcia, there you go. Marcia.
I'm here signing.
Yeah. It would be a fun topic of conversation. Yeah. Budget models, Scott's budget models. That's okay. Ironically, and I were talking about Scott's budget model, and she was like, "Carol, it's a money thing." She was like, "Maybe you start like really small, like starting to teach basics class, put your budget together, and then kind of launch it into Scott's budget."
Yeah, I've got
I think it's too up here.
No, they've already been accepted in
So
fact.
finding something that's much more like it, I don't want to.
So we are fairly.
So I mean, yeah, not there.
It was supposedly nice. I'm switching that. So they
For ordering. Yeah. So
I did that during our value proposition with using KWS leverage that we have access to 190,000 patients nationwide. And I was like, are you plugged into James Shaw? Are you plugged into, and like naming all those things that I don't think we were people know about.
And I like we forget this because we're the ones.
Right, it's daily routine for us.
I want.
No idea. It was up here. I thought you had something down there. Showing I didn't see it.
All right. Because I know a great place to kind of start doing. Okay. So.
He's not here anymore, but I think for me, when I listened to the aha questions of the capper, whatever they're called now, Nate was really kind of taken back by the living off the 70%. Like taking your income and only living off that 70%, but the example that's on the board is that that person was living off of 96% of what they made. Like they're basically living paycheck to paycheck. So like Kathleen said, like starting with that, how do we get you to live off 70%? And then what are you doing with that other 30 is like the next step.
Yeah, well, and